What's good, everybody? I know it's been a minute since the last time I uploaded a video. And before you even ask, yes, I am in my pajamas. I am sitting here in my pajamas and just wanted to come on here for a minute because I've been doing a lot of thinking. A lot of things has happened since the last time I did a video. I don't even live in the same state anymore. I've bought a house. I'm about to start a new job in a few weeks. And in the midst of that, a lot of things emotionally and mentally have been the case for me. 2023 was a very interesting year. I went through a really deep depression that was spurred on by a lot of things. Some of that happened in 2023, but then when I thought back on it, it was really a buildup from a lot of different things over the years. And what my body just really said is, we ain't doing this no more. And while it was difficult, I realized that I had to say, hey, I can't do this to a lot of people. And also realized that it was coming out, whether I realized it or not. Some of my outbursts, some of my random moments where I would disappear, or all of that stuff was really tied to me just needing to be by myself. And going through that, the one platform I kept thinking about is this Redreamer space, because in order for you to reimagine, to dream again about who you want to be, what you want to do, sometimes you really need to get by yourself. And not only do you need to get by yourself, but you also got to get reintroduced to yourself. And I realized that that's what I have to do. Notice I said I have to do because I'm doing it right now. I don't think that this will be a moment that I will arrive to quickly. I think it's going to take some time. And normally I'm the person that will wait till I've gotten something, until I've mastered it, and then I'll come back and share it with people. But I think every now and again, I am going to drop in and say, hey, this is where I am right now. And to tell you where I am right now with Redreamer is I'm becoming a Redreamer. That's what I'm doing right now, is I'm becoming that, and realizing that in order for me to get there, sometimes I have to tear a lot of things down. Things I thought were okay, or things that I thought were maybe not great, but I could deal with. Nah, it all got to get torn down. All of it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that's a little scary because I have always been a person that would say to my closest friends when they would tell me to, like, slow down, do this, do that. I'm like, I can't break. I can't break. I can't break. If I break, I'm scared what's gonna happen. Well, 2023 and the end of 2022 showed me exactly what happens when I would break. Is that I just emotionally and mentally became very frazzled. I could not take on anyone else's situation. It just became too much. Like, the best way I can explain it was like right here became very heavy physically. It felt as if I was running out of air. Mentally, it felt like I just couldn't focus on anything, that the world was just spinning so fast and I couldn't just get my footing together. It felt like I was doing not enough but too much at the same time. And it became a very visceral reaction. So sometimes it would be me posting something out of anger and frustration. Sometimes it was, if I be very honest, sometimes one text message could send me spiraling in the morning, where I'm in my bed and I'm crying and I'm in a full-blown panic attack where my heart is racing and I can barely breathe and my mind is racing and I'm up. It was all of those different things at once. And that's when I realized that I had to do something to change. And I didn't know what it was. And I'm be even more honest, this is not something I thought I would admit publicly. Like it took a lot for me to actually admit this to some of the people that I consider to be my accountability partner. But my depression was so bad that I had to admit I was depressed. And some people may relate to that, is that I wrestle with depression and anxiety for a very long time, for a great portion of my childhood and all through my adulthood has been depression and anxiety. And I'm also clinically diagnosed with both of them in 2017. So I have really kind of mastered the art of being high functioning, high achieving, and looking like I'm not depressed when I really am. And I just don't tell anybody. But this year, it got really, really bad and it was both really, really bad, but I could also see some of my growth too, because I was willing to tell people, hey, I'm not okay. I need a day. Or reaching out to certain people to say, hey, I'm really depressed right now. I have not eaten in this many days. I have not showered in this many days. I have not done this. Can you please hold me accountable? So that was when I saw me come all the way down. Because not only was I depressed, but at this point, I'm also being vulnerable and opening up to people and telling them, y'all, I ain't doing good. And I think that's probably the best thing that could have happened to me. Because at that point, I was also able to have people tell me out of love, hey, Ariel, you got to drop some things. Like, for real this time. You have to drop some things. Or, we know you care about them, but right now, you're going to have to care about yourself a little bit more. And right now, you can't take on what they're going through. You know, let them know that you care, but also let them know that you don't have capacity. And, you know, that feels very different. It feels very different because I'm so used to putting down what I'm doing to be there for other people. I'm used to literally, I don't care what the emotion is that I'm going through. If somebody calls and they're sad or they're upset or they need me to problem solve for them, I'll stop what I was doing to be there for them. And I did that earlier this year, and there was a particular situation that happened that I don't know why it was this particular moment that did it for me, but it just snapped me into this feeling of never again will I push down my emotions to be there for somebody else, because half the time they're not even going to ask you if you're okay. They're just going to ask, can you do whatever it is they want you to do for them? But that was I guess, the trigger moment for me. And then it led to many others that we can talk about in another video, maybe. But I'm so used to being a people pleaser. I'm so used to always being there for people that when I'm not there, I feel like a failure. I feel like they're going to hate me. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And I went to church recently and got convicted on a message when this guy next to me, he said, you know what? I realized that God has to work on my pride because it's my pride that wants to manage other people's perceptions of me and control them. Bruh, that hit me so hard, because I do always want to manage and control other people's perceptions of me. I do want to do whatever I can to make sure that they don't hate me, that they understood where I was coming from and why I did this and why I did that. And the truth of the matter is, I can't control that. It's prideful to even try that. Narcissistic, whatever word you want to use there, that's not okay. And I have to let go of that. And part of being a redreamer for me is like dreaming what would a version of Ariel look like that allows people to make their own, perceptions, thoughts of me, and be okay with that. Because internally, I know why I did things, whether wrong or right, and be at peace with that. being at peace with setting boundaries, being at peace with enforcing those boundaries. So I really don't know the exact purpose of this video. I just know that as I was having these thoughts, I was like, you know what, maybe this is a place that I need to upload this, because I don't know if there's somebody out there that may be feeling some of what I have been feeling. But right now, where I'm thinking is how to rebuild me before I chase another like external dream of like what type of house I want to have, what type of career I want to have, or what, all of those things that I normally would talk about or think about. I think right now the place that I'm really am in is dreaming again about what I look like to myself, and what do I look like as I move forward with intentional connections and relationships to other people. And that's not to say controlling how they see me, but more of it being, how do I want to show up? Realizing, okay, what are the limits of things that I can and cannot do? What's my capacity to be there for people? What's my capacity to take on certain work responsibilities as well? Because to be honest, is when you take on more than what you can really handle, not only does it hurt you, but it hurts other people. And I want to make sure that I'm very clear about what I can and cannot do in this season. I even walked away from another podcast that I've spent the past 5 years building that platform. But right now, I just don't have peace about going back to it right now. And I also don't have clarity from God. I've been praying a lot about it on, is this the season for me to go back to it, if at all? So that's uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you that this season for me in many ways is very uncomfortable, because I'm making moves and doing things I'm not used to doing. And it's also the most liberating time for me too, because for the first time, I'm not concerned about anybody else other than me. I'm not worried about anybody else other than me. I might be concerned, but I'm not worried about anybody else other than me. I'm not worried about anybody else's problems. I'm not worried about anybody else's issues. I'm not pressuring myself to have the right thing to say to other people. I'm not, pressuring myself to always be present for other people. Right now, the person that I need to be present for the most is me. And I have never done that. I've never done that. So for me, I really think the crux of Redreamer is choosing to pick myself back up and figure out, what is it that Ariel wants? What is it that Ariel needs? Where are the places of healing that I need to heal, that where I've cut myself and where I have allowed other people to cut me, and work through that. So I am really making sure that I spend some time loving on me. And I hope that if you're watching this and you need to love on yourself more, I hope you take the time to do that. And if you're like, I don't know how to do that, because I ain't gonna lie to you, that was one of the first things that I dealt with, was I don't know how to love myself. It was amazing. I knew how to love other people. I didn't know how to love myself. But here's the kicker, is you do for yourself the things that you did for other people. You put your phone on do not disturb. When you don't want to talk to people at a certain time of day, put your phone on do not disturb and honor that. Don't take it off. Honor that. If you don't want to go somewhere, don't go there. If you don't emotionally have the capacity to counsel someone, or if you don't have the emotional capacity for someone to vent or to problem solve with someone, or to simply just be on the phone, they ain't got to have nothing going on with them. It could just simply be they just want to talk to you, see how you're doing, and you just don't feel like talking in that moment. It's okay to not pick up the phone. And it doesn't have to be an explanation. Just, hey, I'm not available right now. If you want to do something, go do that. If you want to go outside for nothing but just walk around a park, that's been one of the things that I enjoyed. Do that. If your gut tells you something ain't right, believe it. Trusting yourself, loving yourself, honoring yourself. Those are the things that I'm working on, and I hope you do too. This is already longer than what I thought it was going to be. I feel like I rambled a whole lot, but I just also wanted to get this out. I hope you all are having an amazing day. And in the words of Tabitha Brown, even if you can't, don't you dare go mess it up for somebody else. Take care. Peace.